Thank you so much, Dr. Bonhomme. It's my pleasure to be with you all this evening. My name is Gabriel Pricer. I proudly serve as the executive director for Opera Orlando. You might hear my raucous children behind me, so I'm sorry about that. But we're an opera household. It's hard to keep them quiet. What can I say? But I hope you guys can hear me okay. And again, thank you so much for having me with you. Opera Land is excited to be a new member of the Greater Haitian American Chamber of Commerce, especially this season. We've been planning for the past couple years a very unique production of Carmen. How many of you guys are familiar with Carmen? You can raise your hand or maybe put it in the chat box. Yeah, it's probably it is the most famous opera out there, right? I would start singing some tunes, but I don't want to put any pressure on anybody to sing along with me. But the Habanera, the Seguidilla, the Toreador song, if you heard it, it's in movies, commercials, very beloved opera. And we're planning, we've been planning that production for a couple of years. It's going to be at Dr. Phillips Center this April. And what we wanted to do with this production, something very special, is actually set it in Haiti, and a way for us to engage with the very large Haitian American community that we have around Central Florida. If you're familiar with Carmen, you know the music is already in French, so that worked out pretty well. And we updated the dialogue, which originally was written in French. So we had a Creole translator from Haiti work with us, and we have a Creole dialogue that our performers will be doing. The cast was like, oh my gosh, I got to learn Creole. But I think once they realize it's very similar to the French, there's a lot of similarities there. It's been a lot of fun for them to dive in. And I think it'll be a special treat for our community to hear that beautiful language on the stage. So we're moving forward with the production. Am I able to share my screen, Dr. Bonhomme? I was going to show you guys just a little bit.
Let me make you host, and then you'll be able to share.
Okay, just let me know when it's ready. I'll keep talking. So we've put together a wonderful cast from all over the United States, a wonderful chorus featuring some of our Haitian American community members. I'm going to show you the website here. See if this works. Can you guys see that okay?
Yes. Perfect.
So this just shows you some images of the cast here. There's our Carmen, played by Brianna Hunter. The dates for the production are April 1st and 3rd at the Dr. Phillips Center. We understand with COVID still very much in play, several folks might not be able to come in person, so it will be available to watch online. People can buy access to watch it online as well. Here's our wonderful cast: Brianna Hunter, Noah Stewart as Don Jose, Norman Garrett as Escamillo, Brittany Renee, who has sung with the Metropolitan Opera, as Micaela. Greg Baker has also sung with the Metropolitan Opera. He'll be our Zuniga. Just a really great cast. We're very excited about that. So all these details are on our website, operaorlando.org. Tickets go on sale next week. Something that I'd love to kind of have some help with in terms of from the chamber is helping us spread the word first and foremost. But we'd love to reach those Haitian American churches or communities, especially Pine Hills. We have discounted tickets available for groups of 10 people or more. And that's both for if you want to come in person or if you want to watch online. So say a church wanted to buy subscriptions for all of their members to be able to watch from their church, for all of them to watch from home. It's a YouTube link, so they could watch it on their phone, they could watch it on their iPad, right? We would be happy to offer a discount to a church for them to be able to share this production with their entire congregation. So if you know of any Haitian American churches, community centers, or even if they're not Haitian American churches, that's fine too. We really just want to spread the word about this production. As far as I know, it's the first time Carmen has ever been set in Haiti, and I couldn't think of a better place for us to do it than Orlando, given what a great Haitian American community we have. So I want to open it up for questions, comments, maybe a sing-along, whatever we have time for.
Good question. Do you have any trailers or clip that we may be able to utilize and use that as to share on our platform?
Yeah. Actually, I think I can share one right now just to get you guys excited. Hold on one second. me go back one page here on the website. Here's a little commercial. That's our little commercial that's up there right now. And then to give you a sense, I know that gets you excited. Everyone knows that music, right? But then
Yeah.
to give you a sense of production quality, let me just pull up one other video here real quick. We just did a production last month at Dr. Phillips Center there in the Disney Theater, so people could be spread out, socially distanced. It was actually the first full operatic production indoors since March of 2020. So we were very happy we could put COVID protocols and procedures in place and put on a full production. So let me share this with you just a little bit to whet your appetite, as it were. Let's see here.
Hold on, Virginia, please.
Here you go. Can you guys see that okay? So we'll have musicians from the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra playing for us. Just go ahead and skip ahead a little bit.
My sad songs I'm singing, Rosalinda, hear my mourn. While thy blades go swinging, Rosalinda, hear.
You can see for the offstage singing, we used offstage monitors, and then even for the chorus, we pre-recorded them. We had them pop up on screens on either side of the stage, kind of like a big Zoom call. Show you one other clip here so you can get a sense of. Even Mayor Dyer made a cameo, and the Grinch. The Grinch made a cameo as well. Gonna give you a sense of it. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that is. And members of our youth company also pre-recorded. Some dancers from the Orlando Ballet. There's the screens on the side. So that kind of gives you an idea of the video production quality, and it's a whole different experience if you're there in person or if you get to watch it at home. But we're excited to share Carmen with the community. I think there were some comments here in the chat.
If you can share a bit more about the Haiti adaptation, also the dates and the time.
Sure. So the dates are April 1st and 3rd of this year at Dr. Phillips Center. We're in the Walt Disney Theater, plenty of room for people to spread out. We're only able to sell 35% capacity. So it's 2,700 seats, but we can only sell 900. People have an empty row in front of them, empty row behind them, 2 empty seats on either side. So you really feel like you're socially distanced. And then it'll be available online for 3 weeks after the performance. So basically the entire month of April. So we're setting it in 1960s Haiti, which I know was kind of a tumultuous time in the history there. That's kind of on purpose. If you're familiar with Carmen, it's about survival against all odds. And Carmen is a very strong female character, traditionally a gypsy. And she gets involved in kind of bad things, but she's always just trying to get ahead in life, just trying to survive. And so we thought, given that the 1960s in Haiti was such a tumultuous time, it would be really fitting to kind of put Carmen in very hard circumstances, shall we say. So it should be a very fun adaptation.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, comment from the?
Yeah. So Gabriel, this is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
The live stream, is it for live performances or only on demand?
Oh, so it's actually not a live stream. So it's recorded and then broadcast after the fact. And you can watch it as many times as you like during that 3-week period. You'll get a private link. You can watch it once, you can watch it, and it's per household. So you purchase it $25, you can share it with your household. Yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Frank, did you have a question as well?
Frank, you mute.
Yeah. Yes. My question is it a little bit too close and risky for April? And do you also have a few African American in the cast?
Yeah, so I think I showed the website there. About 80% of the cast is either African American or Haitian American. And we're pretty strict with our COVID procedures. We have to be in order to do live performances at this time, like we did Deflator Mouse last month. We're doing Hansel and Gretel this month. So the cast is tested weekly along with the production team. We try and create a bubble with the performers. And then I have to give kudos to Dr. Phillips Center. They do require masks for the audience. They do temperature checks for the audience. Like I said about the seating, it's just as safe, if not safer, than going to Publix or going out to a restaurant, given how much distance is between you and other people in the audience. But at the same time, if you're not feeling comfortable coming in person, you can watch it from home. We have both options available. I hope that answers your question, Frank. Yeah, thanks for your interest. And I saw someone asked about the soldier. Yeah, Don Jose is traditionally a soldier, so he will be a Haitian soldier in this production. Now, the one that's a little tricky is Escamillo, who's traditionally a bullfighter. Apparently, I did not know this, but rooster fighting, cockfighting was very big in the 1960s in Haiti. So Escamillo is going to be a ringmaster of cockfighting, which I think was illegal from what I understand at the time. But again, it kind of goes into this dark world that Carmen finds herself in, and then how is she going to get herself out of it? So Escamillo will not be a bullfighter. He will be a cockfighting ringleader, I guess you can say. Yeah, very, very different take on it. At one point, we thought about maybe making him a boxer, and we played around with all different types of ideas for Escamillo. Sounds like Marjorie knows Carmen very well, so I'm excited about that, Marjorie.
I'm very excited. Absolutely. It is one of my favorite all-time plays. And given the clip you've shared, it looks like it will be a fantastic production. So kudos to you on that. And I asked only because since you asked that the chamber engages the community and the churches, namely. I wanted to see if there was some actual historical context applied to the play, and apparently you've done so.
We're trying to as much as possible. I've had to do a lot of research as our stage director. We originally planned a trip to Haiti before COVID happened, but unfortunately that's not going to work out. But yeah, merci beaucoup, Marjorie. Thank you so much for your interest. I appreciate it.
De rien.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. If you would switch back and make me host, and then any other question or correspondence will relay. We'll stay in contact, and any collaterals that you have that we can use to share, please send those our way, and we'll begin the process, and hopefully get a great turnout.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I don't know how to make you host again. I think I did, but if I didn't, let me know.
Click on my name, or click on my name and click on more. And
I learned something new.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
Merci.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Orlando, thank you for being our featured member today. So without any further ado, I'm going to transition to Mr. Louis James and Mr. Juan Cuervada. Which one is going first? Do I need to make you host?
Yes, it's Juan Guevara. Yes, make me host, please.
All right. Give me just a second here. You have the mic.
Okay, so let me see. Share screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. There you go. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for the second invite. I'm very proud to be part of sharing some valuable information. My name is Juan Guevara. I've been with Fifth Third for almost 7 years. I'm a small business community lender. My role is to reach out to a small business and into the community for financial education, guidance, and supporting them along their journey for that wonderful growth on their business. And I have 20 years of experience as a senior manager and as a sales coordinator along the way. Today, we're going to be presenting two great topics. Last time was all about a relationship. This time it's going to be around a relationship with the bank or financial institution, which is very crucial. I saw that in your introduction, Ida. And the other topic is going to be about financial 101. And today I'm going to be talking about the understanding business lending needs and solutions, which is very, very crucial on certain times that we're going through. It's identifying what is your business lending needs and finding the right solution. So first we have to, I want to start off by identifying business lending needs. This is the most crucial part because my experience with a lot of small business lenders is that sometimes we think that we know certain things that are needed for their business for the lending part, but actually they don't. They end up either applying for the wrong solution or product along the way. But the first thing you want to kind of identify is if you're short-term in cash needs, your small purchases, your plan to pay off in 30 days. First, the other needs is working capital for cash needs, for short-term project, seasonal business. Let me go ahead and minimize this. Replenish inventory on monthly peak sales, payroll shortage, ability to pay back within 1 year, which we're going to talk in depth. Why is that important and how to identify that? And if you're capable of paying it within 1 year, whatever you're trying to accomplish. The other one is very important, purchases of new equipment, vehicles, and inventory with the ability to pay off in more than 1 year, which is a term loan in this case. The other one is purchasing new construction or refinancing commercial property for relocation expansions and business acquisition. So this is the most crucial part of identifying your business need. This is where you want to exceed in your business. This is the part that you have a business plan in hand and you want to see how you could overcome your obstacles in order to exceed your business. You have to have a plan in order to achieve your goal. So this is very, very crucial for your business when it comes to making this decision. So let's talk about the business as a lending solution, the whys, the hows, the what, and the when. And today I'm going to talk in details these 5 great solutions from a financial institution perspective. The first one is around business credit cards. Most of you already know about how a business credit card operates, but you're going to learn all the features, the benefits, the what's, the when to use it, the how, business line of credit, a term loan and guidance line of credit, which is going to be very surprising for a lot of business owners that might make sense for them, commercial real estate, and treasury management. So let's start off with the commercial card, which is a business credit card. Why is it important? Why is it important? How and what and when to use it? So why is it very important? This is more like a short-term needs of cash, small purchases, and capability of paying it in 30 days. Commercial card gives you the ability to consolidate all your expenses into one and give that privilege of paying in one product. So it makes it much easier for you to utilize any type of transaction. I'm going to give you a perfect example. A lot of business owners are still utilizing checks to pay, obviously, their expenses. That check has to be deposited for the other party and then wait for another day to clear. So the ability that gives you the commercial card gives you the ability to consolidate all your expenses into one, have a single reporting, and makes payment to one single party instead of being spread out of having multiple alternative of making all your payments. In this case, the commercial card gives you the ability to provide multiple cards for your employees with the ability to lower and increase their limits. And you have the ability to activate and deactivate where they can spend, which gives you more control over your business. A commercial card will give you more time for you by organizing all your expenses into one. It'll give you more time to think and obviously have more time to manage your team for success. This is a crucial need when it comes to daily expenses, monthly expenses. Business line of credit. This is the famous business line of credit that almost every business are seeking for. But this is very crucial when to utilize, because sometimes the business line of credits are being utilized the wrong way. And this is when business line of credit, business owners tend to pay a lot in interest rate because it's being underutilized. A business line of credit is considered a revolving account with the ability to pay interest only on a monthly basis. Very similar to the credit card, but it has a very low interest rate. In this case, the product renews every year with a small fee, but the very important piece of this, a business line is being utilized for to be able to repay within 1 year. Because if you cannot pay the line of credit within 1 year and it rolls over the next year, you're underutilizing this service. In this case, you're going to be obviously charged high interest rate in this case. But it's to help you for small little project, seasonal business. It gives you the ability for transferring over payroll without higher interest penalty and longer term cash. It will help you cover the account receivables and account payables. So in other words, for construction company that have a large contract which the contract is breaking down in 3 payments. It will help you for your payroll, purchases, inventory on a short-term goal on a 2 or 3 month process. This is the very good for these type of solutions. So a term loan is very simple. This is when you obviously the long-term repayment plan, typically when extending beyond 1 year, normally with fixed rate. It gives you the ability for this is for clients that are not capable of paying any type of loan within 1 year. This is when you compromise yourself with the actual financial institution to extend the ability of repaying this loan on a term. In this case, normally these are for like vehicle, equipments, inventory, or any other fixed assets. This is the part that you want to differentiate yourself from when you're in need of a loan. This is where you want to differentiate yourself what type of loan. You either go line of credit, which is pay off within 1 year, or you either choose a term loan, which is more than 1 year. And this is where a lot of clients make a lot of mistakes and roll over the line of credit, because a line of credit, if it carries year over year, it's a variable interest rate, which is going to be a much higher than a term loan. A term loan, most of the time, is a fixed rate or a very, very low rate. So it helps you manage your business better. And you could even apply for various solutions. You could go either for a line of credit for certain projects and a term loan for certain projects that you'll be able to pay it off on a longer term. Now let's talk about a little bit about guidance line of credit. Guidance line of credit, not every financial institution offer this great solution. This great solution is for business owners that are planning in the future. I'm going to give you a perfect example. A client that has a plan, let's say a transportation business, is planning to purchase 3 vehicles in the month of March, right? And they want to get these funds right away, because the most difficult, sometimes annoying, is the process of getting approved the actual loan on the business side. It might take 2 or 3 days when you need this money right away for your solution. So a guidance line of credit is a pre-approved line of credit that it's going to be maintained on hold till you make a decision of purchasing any fixed assets. So let me give you a perfect example. If you get approved for $100,000 on a line of credit, a guidance line of credit, and you want to purchase a vehicle in March, you could pull $30,000 without going through the whole process, because it's been already approved, and you convert it into a term loan. Those are for future projects for any type of business. It helps you have that money available at the time of need. So I always encourage you guys to have that conversation with your financial advisor in order to have the right solution for your needs of business. Next slide, give me 1 second. There you go. So this is the most important piece right now, because rates are very low. Commercial real estate term. This is the part I want to spend a little bit more time, because this is the part, as a small business communicator, and my passion of helping small business grow, is to encourage the small business that it is possible to own your own property. It is possible. It's intimidating sometimes because of the process, but that intimidation part is our job, to handheld you as a client. And all you have to do is just provide what we're requesting along the way. But understanding how easy it is to own your own commercial property sometimes makes sense for some business owners, sometimes it doesn't. Commercial real estate is just a term loan, obviously, at tying a collateral, which is the actual property, starting from 5 years to 25 years. And the amortization period is often longer than the term of the loan. For those of you who don't know what's amortization, can refer to process of paying of debt over time and regular installment of interest and principal sufficient to repay the loan in full by maturity. So in other words, is you'll be paying principal and interest for the amount of 25 years with a balloon payment in 10 years. So it gives you that flexibility for at least to make those payments. The commercial real estate term obviously is for relocation purposes, new construction, business acquisition, and expansions. And for those of you that don't know, some financial institutions, national banks are in need of 51% owner occupied in order to proceed with these type of services. Now that we have in the month of November or December, there was a CARE Act approved, which I'm going to talk on the next slide about the SBA benefit for the CARE Act that hugely impacts the commercial real estate loans through the SBA, which I'm going to talk in details. The other part is treasury managers. This is the part that a lot of clients don't know about, or business bankers don't mention it. This is the part that you sometimes ask yourself, why so many fees? Why the banks is charging me for doing this? It doesn't make sense for me, because you haven't been educated on from your financial advisor on how to manage the bank our banking services. In other words, some business have the ability that have small transactions along the way and it's not needed, but some businesses are highly complex transactions and account reporting that is in higher need of this type of service. These type of service sometimes are free from your financial institution, and some of them are going to have some more fees. But this is highly focused on ACH transaction, wire transfer, complex transaction, payables and receivable, and fraud protection too. This is highly important. A good experience we had with future customers is bringing back their time and let us manage their account, and having that valuable time for you as a business owner is very crucial. I had a client of mine that got back to almost 2 hours a day just by doing organizing herself through her treasury management services and consolidating all their expenses, account payables and receivable in one easy process. So this little chart, it gives you a potential business need. This is where you want to kind of gauge yourself, where you at, where is the need of your business needs in the future, and what is it recommended as a solution, so you can be better prepared when you step into your financial institution of your preference, and have at least an idea what you want when you come in. It gives you a little bit of an insight. I'm going to share this with you later on so you guys can have it as a reference, or you could go at 53.com, and this is available under the business section. So let's talk about a little bit about SBA. We are an approved lender for SBA. When to consider SBA loan? So it's very important to understand that to identify financial institutions that are approved lender for SBA, because it gives you that extra leverage that if you don't qualify for certain requirements from the financial institution, the SBA comes in as an additional support. So this is more kind of for startup business, expansion, business acquisition, even working capital, even refinancing your own debt. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of the SBA. For instance, if a banking institution will not approve you a regular loan, SBA has the opportunity to finance higher risk industry. And possibility of default, which is PD 9 and 10, the higher the number, the higher the risk is. The SBA gives you that opportunity to finance. So you got a better chance for approval through the SBA with a preferred lender. Even with a low FICO score, you might get approved through the SBA, obviously with no major derogatories. I'm just going to mention 3 top products and why is it important now in this time because of the CARE Act that just got approved. We got the SBA 7A, and the SBA 7A right now, it's getting, the SBA is approving 100% LTV, loan to value. That means that the client doesn't have to bring any down payment, any injection to it. Makes a lot more sense due to the crisis that we're passing through. And the SBA 7A difference versus a conventional loan, it's a little bit higher in interest rate, and it has a guarantee fee that you're going to be charged at the closing. And that's the pros and cons of SBA 7A. And SBA 504 is pretty simple. It's that 50% loan to value is going to be financed through the financial institution, and 40% is going to be financed through the SBA with a 10% injection, which is down payment. And then we have the SBA Express, which is a line of credit that allows you to draw 5 years, and any remaining balance after year number 5 gets converted into a 5-year term. It's very important to understand those 3 huge products, because nowadays, if you're considering having as a solution of all the products that I just mentioned, the CARE Act was signed, I believe, and approved in November or December, and it's going to start in February 1st to September 20th. And what it does, it gives the ability for the SBA will pay your first 6 payment principal and interest. In other words, if your payment's going to be $2,000 a month, the SBA is giving you almost $12,000. And it's not a deferral. It's pure grant money from the SBA. That's from the CARE Act. And second, the SBA will waive the 2% or the 3% guarantee fees. So that means a lot. We're talking about almost $8,000 to $10,000 out of a $500,000 loan, maybe. So that is very, very important to know, to take advantage now that the rates are very low, and to take advantage of the CARE Act if you're planning in the future of any solution utilizing a SBA loan or a commercial real estate loan. So I'm going to leave the floor for any questions. If you guys have any question about the business needs and solution, you're more than welcome. So I'll pass it back to Adler.
Thank you, sir.
Stop sharing.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful presentation, Mr. Guevara. Any questions from the attendees?
Hello, Wanda. This is Daniel. That grant money with the SBA for those 6 months, is that for the 7A loan or any loan?
Any loan, SBA 504 or SBA 7A.
Okay, thank you.
And both loan are going to be, the guarantee fees are going to be waived.
Go over that again one more time. I think we may have missed that. I may have missed that, if you would.
Okay, I made Abigail host, so she has to pass it back to you. Okay, what I was saying is the CARE Act, it's going to, the benefits of the CARE Act is the six-month payment, principal interest, and the guarantee fees, I think it's around 2 to 3% will be waived. And it means a lot of money on a $500,000 commercial real estate or $1 million loan.
Okay. Any other questions? So if we need to, we'll follow up with you. We may have to talk.
Yes, just a quick question I've had from other members is that one, how long should an individual already have established relationship with the bank in order for them to still be able to take part of such services? Like, do they have to have an account or several accounts with you guys for months, for years? What are the situations?
I was muted. I'm sorry. Okay, so I barely hear you, but you said if you had had an established account in order to proceed with any loan, the good thing about Fifth Third Bank, and this is us, with Fifth Third Bank, any prospects are welcome. Anybody, even if you don't have a relationship, uh, we could proceed for any type of service that you need. In this case, the doors are open. A lot of financial institutions, due to COVID, are closing the door for prospect, and they're just focusing on their own clients. And that's what I'm seeing a lot. Fifth Third's doors are open for anyone that are interested. And if we can't make it happen, at least you're gonna have the education and preparation on how to prepare for the second time. And that's what we provide.
Well, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'm going through here. Briefly, Juan, can you speak on the, I guess, an exposure quickly over the PP3 as the new, I guess the new draw comes along. Can you briefly kind of give us an overview of what?
Yeah, I could speak because I'm a processor too for the PPP. So for those of you that already had the first round and going through the forgiveness, I believe the due date is for February the 28th. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I was informed. But the second round for the PPP is added additional requirement. It's the additional requirement. The actual business had to have a decline on gross sales more than 25% in one of their quarters. So normally everybody, I think the biggest impact was second quarter of last year. So all you have to do is prepare your P&L or interims to compare 2019, 2020 on your worst quarter, because you could choose any quarter that had a decline more than 25%. That's the only additional requirement for the PPP. There's enough funds. Based on our experience, the doors are open for anyone that would like to have a process of the PPP. For the PPP, obviously, yes, you have to have an account, obviously, so we could fund you. But the doors are open. There's enough funds. What I'm seeing, which is very curious, there's not a lot of urgency with a lot of business owners on the second round. And that's kind of curious from my part, but compared to last year.
Well, one, here's what I'm thinking. So for those businesses who were operating on fear mode, afraid of closing, and who actually they did not make profit, but they also made better than they did last year, but was not, they grew in spite of the pandemic, but at the same time couldn't really generate a profit because of lack of, or maybe they didn't meet their budget, if you will, because of the growth spurt didn't happen. But yet they didn't have that 20% reduction in sales, but yet they did not grow, if you will. So what approach should those businesses
take?
Okay,
that's a great question, because I did confront one of my clients that sells insurance, and he had the same situation. Right now, it was validated by SBA. I'm just going by my experience. Don't know the details on that, but he had an amendment explaining the situation he is going through, that obviously he did not grow due to the COVID situation. And he did share the house on how he was decreased by 25%. And he was validated by SBA. So they did kind of approve him with the amendment that he shared, but I don't have the details on that.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
I do have another follow-up question on that. I received a PPP loan through one lender, and they told me the new second draw is coming. It hasn't come yet. Is it a smart idea to go to a different lender for the second draw?
Okay, when he mentioned that it's not available, because they started taking application yesterday. We started taking application in February 14, but SBA opened the door yesterday, I believe. They started taking application. So I think that's what he mentioned, mentioned it that way. I think he was saying that the SBA still hasn't opened the doors for application. That's what I meant. He meant. But yes, you're more than welcome to go to other financial institutions and apply for the PPP. It doesn't affect you.
Okay.
Juan, can you touch base on the forgiveness date again? I know some lenders, they stopped taking application to process the forgiveness. I guess maybe not ready, they're waiting on the correct form. I know there was a change in short form, if you will. Some of them have closed that process for those that have less than 150. Can you speak on that as far as the delay?
You mean the second round of PPP on the 150 or the forgiveness?
First round on the forgiveness.
Okay, my understanding again, things change every day. Every day we get a update on policy change. And that's why we always direct our clients to go to the website, because we don't want to misinform our clients because it changed every single time. Because right now that 228, I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be extended because exactly what you just said, they put a pause on the forgiveness to focus on the second round of PPP. But the second round of PPP is not creating a lot of traction, which is very rare. That's what I'm impacted by it. I was expecting the same result of last year, but no, people are taking it very easy. There's enough funds anyway. And a lot of business owners are not qualifying due to that 25% reduction.
Right. Can you speak on, just lost my mind. I'll come back to it. Anyone else? Juan, are you able to, would you share your contact information on the chat, please?
Will do. Thank you so much. I think LJ is next for his financial 101 education. Thanks.
All right, LJ, you have the floor.
I'm here. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Louis James, LJ for short. I'm a wellness coordinator for Fifth Third Bank. Been with the bank now for more than 10 years, been in financing with a degree for more than 20 years. So what I do, I work with resource directors, I work with benefit directors to design programs for the company to build a better understanding for the employees to find their financial needs and goals. But what we really do, we tailor the financial program to deliver results to the employees based on whatever desire they have, either short-term or long-term financial goals. So that way we could empower the employees, which in turn empower the employer to have a better outcome at the end of each fiscal year, depending on the company. So that's what I do for Fifth Third Bank. I work with companies to help create programs for financial literacy on a personal side. So as one speak on the business side, I'm more on the personal side. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen for a second. Can everyone see my screen?
Sure.
Yes.
Perfect.
Looks good.
So this seminar tonight is on Financial Checkup 101. This is a great time of year, which is the beginning of the year, to talk about your financial roadmap when it comes to personal finance. So when we look at where we are, when you look at financial roadmap, it's looking at the holistic map of where a person can be, would like to be, or set goals. Because most people nowadays, especially at the beginning of years, is setting their New Year's resolution, trying to lose weight, trying to fix their credit, trying to buy a house, whatever it is. Financial health is just as important as everything else when you're thinking of the first few months of the year. So Financial Checkup 101 is exactly what it is. Financial Checkup 101 is making sure that your financially checkup is correct, and you can check boxes off to make sure that you're in the right space for what's coming tomorrow, because no one can predict what's coming tomorrow. So let's jump right into it. So looking at the statistics, you have 32% of Americans don't have a budget, which means 70% of Americans don't budget. So if you look at 30% of Americans who does budget, always ask a question to the audience, where do you fit in terms of statistics? Are you within the 32% or within the 70% of Americans who don't budget? When I look at when I bring it down to a realistic point of view is, most people you see in the Florida Mall, your Publix, your Winn-Dixie, your Walmart, that means 3 out of 10 people does budget. That means 7 out of the 10 people that you're walking around don't check their statements, don't check their bank statements, don't check their credit statements, usually find themselves in an overdraft situation or paying additional fees for an account that most people shouldn't be paying for. What percent of workers are confident about having enough money for a comfortable retirement? Looking at the statistics, is 50% of Americans feels comfortable. But what does comfortable mean? I always tell myself that. What is comfortable? Comfortable is knowing that whatever number you decide to retire, whatever dollar amount you know in the back of your head or on paper, prefer paper, and how much debt are you walking into your next season with, which is retirement. So to make it feel comfortable, how much do you need? When do you want to retire? How much debt are you taking with you into that new life of yours? Most people, you find that saying they're going to retire at 65, which is your average, 60 some for a good individual, would say, you know, Mr. James, well, I have a mortgage that I'm trying to pay off. I have student loans I'm trying to pay off. And I have credit cards I'm trying to either pay down or close before I get to that ultimate goal of 60 or 65. Perfect. It sounds like whatever you're planning on doing after 65 or 60, whatever your retirement goals are, either travel, go back and forth and visit grandkids, or whatever it may be, it's going to be an easier road to travel than someone who's carrying along a mortgage, rent, credit card debt, or credit card balances, student loans. Those individuals who's carrying that baggage, you tend to see still working at Walmart, still working retail jobs, or still just overall working because their planning situation wasn't what it's supposed to be, or wasn't able to predict the future. So that's always try to invest in individuals earlier to say, look at your debt now to plan for tomorrow. Because if I could tell you what this comfortable retirement looks like, it's knowing that you have no debt walking into your next season, and you could do it at whatever your heart desire when you retire. But knowing that you have debt means that you have additional responsibilities that you're taking with you into retirement, which becomes much harder, or just means that you have to work a little longer, which is for some people is harder. What percent of Americans list money as their number one stressor? If you ask me personally, I'll say everyone. I say everyone is right now is worried about, have some sort of worry about money, which is really stressful. When you think about money nowadays, because of COVID-19, is high blood pressure, is weight gain. Right now, there's so many people right now is going through depression because it's hard to predict what tomorrow is gonna pretty much forecast. Either you're a business owner or you're an employee. Whichever side you're on is stressful, because no one in America, no one in the world right now knows what tomorrow brings. And even though we have the vaccine, it's not like it's coming to your arm tomorrow or to next year or right away, because no one really knows. So when I think of money being the number one stressor that most people, individuals thinking about is, do you feel comfortable? Do you have enough savings, emergency savings, to put yourself in a better position if something were to happen? And if you ask the average American, how much do you have in savings? This is a statistic they did earlier last year. The average American right now has less than $1,000 for emergencies. If I had less than $1,000 going through COVID-19, I can't say I won't be stressed out. Having 2 kids, having a wife and a mother-in-law that depends on me, that puts most people in an awkward situation or a stressful situation. Hence why you see weight gain, depression, and high blood pressure is increasing, because these things are happening. So when I think of ways to empower yourself or ways to find yourself on more a comfortable playing field, is knowing that you're budgeting. And that goes back to the very first question. How many Americans have a budget in today's society, or even during COVID-19? We're going to talk about that in a second on simple ways we can budget. But today, let's do a financial checkup real quick. Let's talk about how to either grow, necessarily plan, or definitely protect what we have. So when I think of planning, I really think of budgeting. Budgeting doesn't have to be as stressful as Excel worksheet, or because I've seen the most elaborate budget sheets that over the years of banking. It doesn't have to be that stressful. It doesn't have to be that detailed. When I first started budgeting, I had a black and white book from as I was in school. And what I did, I put down my expenses, I put down my income, and I put down my savings. But before you do all that, when you look at what's in front of you, anticipating certain things when you think of budgeting has to come when you think of planning or goals that you have for yourself, especially at the beginning of the year. You have individuals right now think about buying a home. You have individuals right now think about paying off debt. You have an individual right now is thinking about college savings, either for themselves or for their kids. You also have an individual right now is thinking about retirement. Even though it's COVID-19, I know people right now, or in 2020, who purchased house, pay off debt, save for college, and still was able to retire or at least save for retirement. Life expectancies are things you can't really predict, which is marriage, children, career change, and retirement, are things that we have to think about when we think about budgeting, because these are things that can take place during the process of life. Just like 2020, just like most people have their goals, most individuals in 2020 will still get married, will still having kids, still changing career, either forcefully or on their own, and you still have individual that was retiring. So when I think of creating a budget, these are things we have to plan or at least forecast when we think of things that we would like to put in our goal process as we plan and as we pretty much bring our budget sheets together. So knowing what income you have, knowing exactly how much money you have coming in, if you're a salary individual, if you're a commission individual, if you have investment, if you have child support, whatever it is, whatever income you have coming in, that needs to be on your full document of a budget sheet. I see so many individuals try to cheat themselves by putting money aside, either spiffs or bonuses or extra commission. You have to put everything on paper in order to get a full view or a full outlook of what you really have. Same thing when it comes to expenses. In order to see a full vision or full visibility of what expenses you have, always tell an individual, go to your credit card statements and go to your bank statements. You'll get a full picture of exactly what you're spending, and everything has to go on paper. Don't skip out lunches, don't skip out tolls, don't skip out parking. Put everything on paper. That's how you're able to have a good view or good visibility and exactly how much expenses are really going out. And the very last one is how much you have savings. When I did my budget way back in the days, I was like 22 years old. So forgive me. So when I think of words like retirement and 401k, those were foreign language to me. You were speaking Spanish if you say 401k. What is a 401k? What is investments? Only thing I know about personal savings, and I know I had college debt to pay back. That was the extent of my knowledge when it comes to retirement, 401ks, and investment. But most of us is at an age where we should know what these things are. Only thing that's missing from savings is emergency savings. So as you look at your income and you look at your expenses gives you a good visibility, especially during COVID-19, on things we don't need or things that we could do without. And if you realize that things that you don't need, take it out, take that savings and put it into your emergency savings. When I think of budgeting, most people say, man, it's so hard to budget. It's a sacrifice. It doesn't allow me to be who I want to be or be the person I want to be. I apologize, but being in debt doesn't allow you to do the same thing. So what side of the coin would you rather be in? Being in debt and not being who you want to be, or being comfortable and at least striving to get to where you want to be? In 2020, I'm looking at budget sheets for the individual, and I'm still realizing people are buying things or adding to the expenses that they could do without. People are adding subscriptions to games and to apps on their phone or tablets that they could truly do without. I know last year I spoke to a lady who purchased new furniture for her home that she already has. So it wasn't even a new home. She purchased new furniture that she thought she needed. my opinion, she could have done with this furniture after COVID-19 or after everything is said and done, because she wasn't in the position to. So my question is, when I asked her the question, do you need furniture right now? She was like, not necessarily, but it was a good deal. If you're quarantining and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to keep yourself safe, no one's going to see your furnitures for the most part. So when I look at people's budget in 2020 or 2021, even though the year just started, look at your finances, look at your expenses and say, what can I take away from my expenses that will put me in a better saving situation? Because the goal for savings is to have at least 2 to 3 months of our expenses put aside in case something was to happen, in case an emergency was to rise, in case somebody gets sick. If you're the breadwinner with COVID-19, if you're tested positive, most companies are not allowing individuals to go out in public or work for 14 days. So where would that put your family? Where would that put your expenses? So I always tell people right now, this is not the time to think of adding to your expenses. This is a time when you could think of taking away. And if you're an individual who's working from home and saving on car maintenance, oil change, tolls, gas, and all these other associated things when it comes to traveling, take that money and put it into a savings. Don't take it to the Florida Mall. Don't take it to Amazon. Don't take it to your favorite store, because what's going to happen is that instant gratification of someone loves me when you purchase something always feels good. When you come home in the afternoon and you get that package, oh man, someone cares about me. It's a good feeling. I know I do it sometimes, but I also know I have to stop because I need to put something in savings. And sometimes it's an addiction to go on Amazon while you're bored and purchase something, because it's so easy to slide it across and buy now. But that's where the savings, that's where the control, self-control comes in your budget, because we all want to get through this together. We all want to get through COVID-19 and be on the better side, be on the winning side of COVID-19. On a positive note, I know so many people right now, because I do a bunch of day trading, I know so many people right now who's taking that extra money and putting it towards so many different stocks or arts and craft that they're doing themselves to invest in themselves, to either make themselves money or put something outside to grow their income. So these are things you could do when you think of savings. Think of ways that you could take your savings or your expenses that you no longer need to expense and put it into something that could help you either grow or save for your family's sake. When I think of protecting, no one throw out their credit score, please don't do that. But how many people on this line know their credit score? You can put in the chat. That's feel free. Don't tell me your credit score, just raise a hand. How many people know their credit score? Love it. I got a couple thumbs up so far. Cool. It is very important to know your credit score in this economy. In this environment, it is very, very important to know your credit score for multiple reasons. My number one reason is it gives yourself power. If you know your credit score and you walk into any lending institution, any bank, any situation right now that requires a credit score, you have more power than anybody else if you just know your credit score. If it's in good condition, it's even more power, obviously. But even if it's in a bad state, that gives you power to fix it. But if you don't know your credit score and you're trying to take advantage of, for example, the mortgage rates or the refi mortgage rate. Mortgage right now is at an all-time low, 2.5, 3%, 2.7, refi at 2.5 on a 15. These are numbers I haven't heard in probably ever. Actually, no, I've never heard of these numbers since I've been a real estate agent, never. So in order to take advantage of these rates, it's important to know your credit score, but also know what's affecting your credit score and how to turn it around. So what's building up your credit score? Everyone has an idea of what's in their credit score, but no one really have an actual factual build up what creates a credit score. So I'll break it down to you in the simplest way. It was broken down to me almost 14 years ago. When I came from New York City, I came from St. Kitts in '87. I was 13, went to college, went to high school, went to college. I came from New York City to Orlando in 2001 with a 468 credit score, and thought I was a man, because in New York City you really don't need credit, because you take the bus, you live in an apartment, you don't need a car. So what do you need credit for? Nothing. until I came here and realized I need to get an apartment, and from an apartment, I need to get into a house because I had a 5-year-old at the time. I also had a girlfriend that now I'm married to. With a 468 credit score, I was ashamed to know that that's what my credit score was when I was told that the average credit score is like 750 and higher. But this is how it was explained to me. It said, Mr. James, what creates your credit score is late payments. You can't be late. 35% of your credit score is late payments. That means every time you're late, they're taking away 35% of your credit score. Very important. For every time you're late, it takes 6 months to come back to a good credit score. He also said, Mr. James, the next biggest criteria is 30% is your DTI. That means how much you spend on that credit card. He said, if you want good points, stay under 20%. 30% is the number, but stay under 20% if you want good points. That means they'll give you points if you're under 20% or 30% of your credit limit. He said, you do those two things, you're golden. He said, don't be late and use 20%. That means every month, every 31 days, they're going to give you points. He also said the longest credit card you have is going to give you the most points. So don't close credit card. He said, whatever credit card you have, stick with it. Try to keep it for as long as you can, because some people getting 7 to 10 points, and the longest one you have will give you 10 to 15 points. So keep that credit card as long as you could, obviously in good standing condition. Rule of thumb he also told me is don't close that credit card. If you ever decide to close that credit card, they're going to take away the history of that credit card you have, the relationship, and they're also going to take away the points that they gave you. So don't close that credit card. You'll be surprised how much you drop based on how long you had that relationship and how much points they gave you. So don't close it. It doesn't matter if you want to bring it down to 0, just don't close it. Another thing that was explained to me is a credit mix. In my opinion, I thought every credit card was a credit card. I thought Macy's credit card was a credit card. I thought Best Buy credit card was a credit card. I thought Walmart credit card was a credit card. You couldn't tell me anything different. Until I was explained that if it doesn't have the logo, Visa, MasterCard, credit, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex, if it doesn't have those logos, it's not a credit card. I was like, seriously, for real? So what do I have then? What do I have if it's a Walmart card? What is it? He said, that's a personal loan. That's a loan that Walmart is going to give you that says you could do business only with Walmart. The problem is Walmart does not have to share your information with the Bureau, which means it's not helping your credit score, which means connection is not going to give you points, which means you just have Walmart credit card just to have a Walmart credit card. So if you're trying to build your credit score, Mr. James, look for either go to your bank and get the bank card that says Visa, MasterCard, or if you choose to go to your favorite store like a Best Buy or whatever, make sure you get the Best Buy card that has the Visa, Capital One, or MasterCard logo. Make sure you have one of those if you choose to. But if you ask my opinion, I would say go to your bank first. Then the very last one is 10% is credit mix. We all know individuals who have 10 credit cards, 5 credit cards, 15 credit cards. He said the only thing the Bureau actually do is to have three accounts, whatever it looks like, either 2 loans and a credit card or 2 credit cards and a loan. They want to make sure that you can manage a loan and something that's revolving. What's revolving is a credit card. It shows that you have money, you paid it back, and they give it back to you. If he said, if you do all these things in every 31 days, they're going to give you points every 31 days. So that way you don't have a wave. What is a wave? That's when 1 month your credit card goes up, 1 month your credit card, when 1 month your credit score go up, 1 month your credit score go down. That means one credit card has a high balance, another credit card is low. You open a credit card, you close the credit card. That's that wave that people go throughout the year. He said, try to avoid that wave. And one of the ways in trying to avoid that wave is don't be late. Make sure your credit card payment is low and keep it for the longest time. But what you also have to realize is don't always apply for things throughout the year, because the more you apply for things, every time you apply for a credit or service that requires your credit, your social, is going to take points away from you that last for 2 years. So they're going to take points and it's going to sit on your credit score or your credit report for 2 years. So if you could avoid applying for things, if you don't need to, don't. If you could avoid changing your cable, changing your insurance, getting a new phone, he said everything right now is going to pull your credit. Every company wants to pull your credit because they know it's going to affect you and they know how to get into your personal life by doing that. So if you could avoid those ensemble of things throughout the year, you'll have a good credit score. If you ask me now, what's my credit score from when I first came from New York City to now, I'm at an 846 credit score because of these behaviors. I have a 25-year-old and I have a 16-year-old. My son at 25 years old, at 18 years old, we gave him a secure credit card that I kept on my LA Fitness gym membership just for reoccurring payments. When he turned 22 is when he realized that he actually had a 700 plus credit score to buy his own car, because I was not gonna co-sign for him. I don't think I would co-sign for my own mother right now, because I know her behaviors also. But co-signing for somebody right now can cause you pain and stress, and it could also break up a relationship. However you choose to look at the relationship is however you choose to look at the relationship. But it will definitely not, it will not increase the relationship if you decide to co-sign for somebody that's not your husband or your wife. Because if that person does not pay that bill, that means you are responsible for that item or that bill. And in most cases, the reason why you're co-signing is because of lack of history or bad history. It's only two things. So just be careful when you think of co-signing for somebody outside, either friend or family. And also protecting yourself. Now that we know we have good credit, now that we have good savings, how can we protect ourselves? This is a statistic they did back in 2016. 13.1 million people is being affected by identity theft. Right now, it's 32 million people is being affected by identity theft. The problem is identity theft has changed and evolved because these individuals have gotten smarter over the years. Instead of going into your pocket, your purses, and picking your pocket like before, no. These things are digital now. They are sending you text messages on your cell phone in order for you to log into something, and they'll take over your cell phone, or they will just mirror your cell phone. So every app you go into, every bank account you go into to check your balances, every time you purchase something and put your credit card information in there, they are looking at this information to write down, take a picture, and go in after you, or at least with another phone, and do exactly what you're doing to take your information away from you. They also send you emails, either through your work email or through your personal email, in order for you to click into it. And the same thing, what you're clicking into is like IT. It's like giving IT access to your computer. So once you click into it, these people are going to take over your computer. And when they assume that you're sleeping, they are going through your computer, opening and closing information. Most people don't clear their cache. So all your history of things you've done in the past is in there. They're going through your cache, they're going through your pictures, they're going through your social media, they're going through all these different things. And once they have it, it's no longer yours, it's theirs. I always tell people, once you put something out on the web, pictures and information, in most cases, it's no longer yours if it's in a third-party situation, like your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, all those different places you put information is no longer yours. It's you don't own the company. So be careful in what you put out there in the world. There was a 2020 special a couple of weeks ago. No, it was more than a couple of weeks ago. It was more like a month or two ago, that this young lady put on Facebook that she was enjoying herself out of town and taking pictures at restaurants, taking where she is, whatever state she was in. As she was taking pictures, someone recognized that she wasn't home, obviously, and went into her house and robbed and took everything out of her house. It happens more than we think. It happens more often than we think. That's when you go out there and you put all your information out there, and then individuals, people you don't know, strangers, is seeing you celebrate, having a good time, realizing, one, this person has money, this person obviously doing well in life. Let's see how well they're doing. Let's go back and check out where they live, because obviously they took pictures of the house, they probably took pictures of the car, they probably took pictures inside the house, they probably took pictures of all these different things. So let's go get it. Let's go get it. So please, please, please protect yourself. The average cost to get your information back is $3,500 to get your information back, either through the police department by doing a police report, getting a lawyer, the time it takes to fight with the bureau to get your social corrected and take information off your social. The average cost is $3,500 to get your name back into your system, back into your driver license, back onto your social security number. It costs. Please, please, please be careful. Annualcreditreport.com will give you a free report every year for free. I tell individuals, even if you don't want to pay to look at your report, Credit Karma is a free service that I think is a great service. Forgive me for saying great, but I do think it's a great service. Your credit score is not accurate. Let me say that. The credit score is not accurate, but the alerts I think is on point, because they would alert you the moment someone tried to use your credit card or your social security number. They will alert you right away. I'm talking about literally right away. Looking at your balances, looking at what accounts are open, looking at what accounts is closed, are all good visibility to see where you're at, to have a better understanding if you're being a victim of identity theft or you have a credit card that's being duplicated for whatever reason. But this, on the screen, you have annualcreditreport.com, and you also have the number to call just to look up your information, because none of us want to be a victim of identity theft. But at one point, all of us could be a victim of identity theft. So please, please, please be careful and be aware. Now I'll end with this one. Are you covered? When I think of are you covered, COVID-19 exposed a lot of different things. I have a 215 license, which is life, health, and annuity license. A lot of people is recognizing now that their disability, their life insurance, and their health insurance is not what it was, what they signed up for. Because most people don't get sick every day or every month or every year. Or they will allow their jobs to roll over their benefits from one year to the next, assuming that the job is going to do what's best for them. No. It's an umbrella coverage, and the company is going to do what's best for the company. And if they could save money by cutting corners or taking something out, that's what they will do. But that's why the companies normally tell you at the end of the year, October, November, around benefit season, go into your portal and ensure that what you have, what you need is there, because we are not responsible if it's not. So a lot of people right now is going through a positive COVID test and recognizing that they don't have the health insurance that they should have, or that at least what they thought they had. Let's go back. Home insurance and renter's insurance. Ensure that your renter's insurance is what it's supposed to be. Ensure that your home insurance is also what it's supposed to be. A power that you have every year is the power to shop around. If you have not done a claim in 12 months and your credit score goes up, you have the power to call another insurance company or the same and have them do a new assessment to see if they could lower your premium, which is your monthly payment. Personal example, I've been here in this house for 7 years. We went from $1,600 when we first purchased a house to now we're paying, I think, $760 right now by changing insurance companies. You have the power in your hand to shop around and look for cheaper insurance, because there's so many insurance companies out there and everybody wants your business. Because you've been in the company for 10, 20, 30 years and they're charging you a comfortable number, just know you could get a cheaper insurance. And all you have to do is call, because most insurance companies are all tied together. They all share the same information. So they're already going to have your deductible, your declaration form. They already know what you have to compare. But it's a simple phone call. And it's the same thing for your car insurance. And the very last one is name of beneficiaries. This is the topic I hate to talk about, but I do teach a seminar on life insurance and just insurance in general. Make sure that your accounts that you have now have a beneficiary. Make sure your checking account, make sure your savings account, make sure your 401ks, make sure all these accounts has a beneficiary, because if something was to happen to you or someone you love, you want to make sure that these accounts does not go to probate. With so many lives being taken in 2020 or now in 2021, a lot of people is realizing that their family members don't have additional names or beneficiaries on these accounts. Something as simple as a checking account can save. It can save you so much issues, so much problems, so much time. To know that there's a person's name that could go into the account to either bury that person or take care of that person's affair. These are things that no one likes to talk about, but these are things that's we're living through because of COVID-19. There's so many people going through this right now because of not verifying. The very last one is make sure that you are aware of where your loved one's information is. In the bank, we're going through a situation where either the husband passed away or the wife passed away, and the opposite person doesn't know where or what was being paid, or where information is, or what even account that he or she had. So if you know somebody or you're that person, make sure your friends, not friends, make sure your family members are aware of where your personal information is, where your account information is, account numbers, what accounts you have, and definitely beneficiaries. Who are your beneficiaries? Put someone name down, your kids, your grandkids, just put someone name down that you feel responsible, that would take care of your affair if something were to happen to you, or you might be taking care of your parents or your grandparents, whomever it is. Make sure that these affairs are being taken care of before something does happen. And because of this season that we're living in, things are happening every single day, and people are passing away faster than before because of COVID-19. So you don't want to be that individual who's going through a terrible time, and a terrible time turns into a much terrible time because of probate or the certain situations. So I hope this information was valuable. I hope this information was something that you could take away and share with somebody else. And thank you so much for allowing me, myself and Juan, to be with you tonight on this call. I think this is always nuggets of knowledge that we could share with our community. So please, if you learn something tonight, pass it on to an individual. You might not be the individual, but I'm sure you know an individual who could benefit from this information. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for that great information. Just before you go, so let's say you go to the bank, you open up an account or a checking account, and you said, hey, you didn't ask me for a beneficiary, I want to put one on, and they said, oh, don't worry about it, it's not necessary. How do you come back forcefully but yet respectfully?
Respectfully, no. I would like to go ahead and put either my husband or my son or my daughter on this account just for safekeeping.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not a common question for them to ask you, so don't feel that it's something that they will ask you every single time. But just know that's a choice and that's an option you have.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys for hanging around. I know it's about we're a little bit over, but if you have any questions, please feel free to send them or unmute and ask. No questions?
Yeah, LJ, I had one question. What is your opinion on LifeLock as a protection service?
I think highly of it. Because some people say, I hate to pay to protect myself, but you're going to pay to get yourself back as well. So I prefer you pay in the beginning than pay in the end. I always give this example. Back in the 90s, when internet wasn't as familiar or as popular as today, most people used to say, oh man, I will never get the internet. That's the devil's work. That's something that I don't need in my life. How many people today have internet? Everyone. In the of where this world is going, eventually everyone's going to have to pay for their identity theft or their identity protection. Is either going to be today, it's going to be tomorrow, but eventually everyone somehow going to start paying for it. Unfortunately, it's just the world we're living in.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? A few announcements if there's no other questions. I believe we sent out a survey during the week, the crime survey from Orange County. Please go ahead and take that. It's in Creole, English, and Spanish. They'd like to get your input. There's also Vision 2050 as well. Visit Orange County, OCFL, and complete those surveys and give your input as far as what you would like to see the county, the city look like. Next month, February the 11th, the 18th, we'll be celebrating Black History Month. We'll have our poet linguist, Douglas Anderson. Following that Thursday, we'll have our first Lunch and Learn hosted by myself. We'll have the flyers out for you guys to get involved. Also, too, next month, we hot off the press, we'll be doing a collaboration with the African American Chamber of Commerce with the president of UCF, and that will come out as well. So you guys first to hear it before it goes live. So I encourage you to get engaged, get involved. There's a few attendees who came in late. Rose Kofi, if you're there, and also I think Roseanne was trying to get on with the commission's office. She was not able to get on. Uh, Rose, are you here? Would you like to introduce yourself? And while we're doing that, guys, if you would, please jot your information in the chat, contact information, email, if someone would like to connect with you. Again, use this platform to, if there's someone that you see that shared something they do, you'd like to find out more about it, or someone that you realize you connect with, you'd like to explore that relationship, please send them a direct message or put your information on the chat. Rose?
Hi, good evening. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, the presenters. It was absolutely amazing. My name is Rose Kofi. I am a Medicare benefits consultant for Care Plus Health Plans, which is a Medicare Advantage plan. Also, I am the owner of the ARC Center, which is Advocates Revitalizing Community Health. So it is a nonprofit, and we provide services to the communities in different communities throughout the counties. And it's offering services like social services, employment, educational resources, and referrals to community partners. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Anne Gervais, would you like to come up again? I know you've reached out to us several times in the past year. If you would again share the project that you're working on, that you may be able to get connected with.
Yes. So again, my name is Ann Peerville. I'm an Equal Justice Works Fellow. And so my project is to create a medical legal partnership. So I'm looking to partner with a local clinic in Central Florida and provide direct legal services to Haitian farm workers. So that's the first piece of my project. And it's very important for me to work with Haitian doctors, health professionals, and legal advocates. We anticipate wage issues, worker comps, employment discrimination, and things of that nature that I can help with once I find a clinic that's working with Haitian farm workers. And then the second part of the project is building a coalition for the Haitian community in Central Florida. I think you all can agree with me when I say that there isn't much of a coalition here in Central Florida. It's greater in South Florida. So when I applied for this fellowship, it was very important that I built a coalition, a network. And so I know you guys and the work that you do is great, but also different social resources. With my project, I have met with different non-for-profit organizations, community leaders, local government, and I've demanded that they translate everything in Haitian Creole, that they have staff members on staff that speak Haitian Creole. And so with this project, I'm bringing awareness that the Haitian community in Central Florida, especially undocumented immigrants, are being forgotten in some instances, and COVID really shined a light on that issue. So I'm continuing to just meet with different professionals in the community to see how I can network, what services I can provide. But the goal of my project is to work with a local clinic, so when that patient comes in to see the doctor, they can also see me, an attorney, and they can receive direct resources. I can refer them out to different organizations and different people that are helping them. So right now I'm still trying to find a clinic that's willing to partner with me so I can do this work. So if you work for a clinic, if you know a clinic that specializes with farm workers, that works with the Haitian community, please reach out to me. I put my information in the chat, but also if you know healthcare professionals, please send them my way. It's very important in this project that I have a health champion, that I have community advocates that support the work that I'm doing. So I have received this funding. I have a great organization that supports me. I need community members when I walk into the clinic, when I'm talking to CEOs, to let them know that you support this project and that you understand that the Haitian community is important and they need the same resources as any other community and as any other immigrant. So thank you for this time and this platform to share this information. Please, if you know anyone, email me, message me. My goal is to bridge that gap, especially in the Haitian farm worker community while I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. And actually, just before I forget, please reach back to me. I have two contacts for you. Positive Assistance
Okay.
with the Antonio, and then Dr. Kader with the Haitian Medical Association abroad. We have one
Okay.
here. So please reach out to me, and then we'll see if I can connect with those individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for connecting. This is our first Let's Connect. Plenty more to come. Again, next month is Black History Month. We working in that program for you. We ask that you please share, stay engaged. If you have any suggestions or critics, feel free to reach out to me, VP, our secretary. We'll do our best to respond and provide some solution. And again, if there's something that you would like to see, if there's something that we're missing, feel free to engage with us. We ask you for your participation. We always need volunteers. We need more hands on deck so we can better extend our feet and hands to the community to do better outreach, to also connect better with our members. With that being said, thank you all for attending. Stay connected. Share the events for us, please. Like our page. If you're a member, please send us the link so we can get you in our directory. If you're not a member, ask them. I'm asking you to please join us so we can better evangelize the chamber, to also help leverage the resources we have to reach out the community, so we can showcase our culture, showcase our community, our resources. Again, thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.